welcome to the Festival of Storytellers. I thank everybody that's involved with this process because we know writers need readers and writers need publishers.
Experience is not about the publisher, it is about us, the authors.
Hello, hello, book lovers, storytellers, and people all over the world. Welcome to the grandest online book event of the year, the Festival of Storytellers, Season 5. And we're streaming over all social media platforms as well, so don't forget to follow and subscribe. So I am Tish Barnhardt, the author of So You Want to Be a First Lady, you guys. And so I'm super excited today of day 4 of this event. I'm so elated to have with you a guest that's going to come on who has actually read the book, you guys. And so that person is a guy. Can you believe it? So we've had women on here. So now we're going to talk to this particular guy today. So I want to welcome to the stage with me, Philip Standback. Let's welcome him, you guys. Yay! All right, there he goes. Welcome, Philip. How are you today?
How you doing? I'm doing good.
Good to see you. Lovely background. I love it. I know that's your personal background. Absolutely. Well, listen, thank you so much for tuning in with us today. Now, I know that you've had an opportunity to read through the book and everything. And so, of course, we wanted to ask you a couple of questions and everything. But before we do that, I want everyone to see the video book trailer for So You Want to Be a First Lady.
The moment you've all been waiting for. The book by master storyteller Tish Barnhardt. So you want to be a first lady? Well, her life isn't always what it seems. Beyond the veil lies the deceit, the lies, and the manipulation, featuring the distraught Carol Smith, master manipulator Leroy Smith, and the sneaky, conniving harlots and Jezebels using their immoral, seductive flattery to destroy the man of God, his marriage, and disrupt the ministry. Order your copy now on Amazon and all other retail outlets.
Well, all right now, if that's not enticing enough, I want to go get my own copy, okay? So you can order the book, of course, on Amazon.com, Barnes & Noble, Walmart.com, or you can go to my website, tishbarnhart.com. All righty. Hello, Bob. I see you. Well, listen, Philip, I have a question for you.
Okay.
So Why do you think men will benefit from this book and why?
I can give from a male perspective of it, just from my own feelings. Seeing what the woman, pretty much seeing what Mrs. Smith pretty much was going through. She went through a lot, and she stepped in the foot of where I felt that a man should be.
Okay.
And it was just pretty much the stuff she was going through. She went through a lot. She was basically the head of the house in a sense, to where I felt like that's what a man should be at. And
Mm-hmm.
after reading the book, especially in the chapter that chapter 5, I really, it really got going real good. It kept me into the book.
Absolutely. Well, so do you think that a man should pick this book up?
Of course, I really think a man should pick this book up, and I don't want men to look at it on looking at it like, oh, here we go again. You're bashing men and looking at the women, but this particular book, it's like when you start reading the book and you start finding out how strong she was throughout the book, it's like you really get into it, and I think all men should look past the movement, because a lot of men think there's a movement and you're erasing the male, but I don't think that, and I love the book.
All right. Well, listen, I know that you had a favorite part of the book as well. And so, guess what, you guys out there? Tish, the author, is going to read a few pages of his favorite chapter. And so, that is coming out of chapter 5, and it's called Upside Down. Okay. So, here we go. I'm just going to read a little bit of it. All right. A couple of months have passed, and Pastor and First Lady are still struggling to pay the rent on the house and other bills, while other families at the church are also struggling. Sister Rondell, who was one of the first families to connect with the church, calls them and begins to share that she and her husband have fallen on hard times and are being put out of their home and asked for prayer. They pray for them and then open their home to their family and their kids, since there's plenty of space to do it, and this will help them out as well. Sister Rondell helps First Lady around the house and is a great help with cooking meals and such. However, Sister Rondell and her husband have lots of personal issues and continue to fuss and argue all the time. One day, it gets so bad, the two of them are coming down the stairs, yelling and screaming at each other in front of First Lady and Pastor Smith. It is obvious that Sister Rondell's husband is finally done with their relationship, because after their fight, he storms out of the house and speeds off, never to be seen again. A couple of weeks later, the Whitfields start having marital problems. First Lady thinks to herself, what in the world is going on with the married couples? Over the years, Pastor and First Lady has counseled several married couples on all types of issues, and it seems that every time she turns around, their problems can never be resolved, and they end up splitting up. Can they get one married couple to stay together? As First Lady ponders on it, she begins to think about one of the married couples they had counseled, in which the wife wanted to push things beyond the normal boundaries in the bedroom. According to this couple, the wife wanted to toss her husband's salad and perform sexual acts with his behind, which made him very uncomfortable. He expressed to them how she was all over him all day, every day, and feels that the things she wanted to do is disgusting, as he didn't want her doing freaky things with his behind. First Lady could not believe her ears and tried very hard to keep her composure, while his wife turned to them and said, I just love him and want to express it to him in every way imaginable. However, Pastor Smith quickly told Brother Whitfield that the bed is undefiled, and if that's what she wanted, then he should oblige, and that the two of them need to really discuss what it is they wanted and needed from each other and said a prayer for them. Later that evening, Pastor Smith asked First Lady what she thinks about what the young lady wanted to do with her husband. First Lady looks at him and tells him that she too thinks it's disgusting and shrieks at the thought of it. First Lady tries to figure out why in the world Sister Whitfield would want to put her back there anyway, because she knows she doesn't want to toss Pastor Smith's salad as much as he stays in the bathroom. Pastor Smith tells her that he sees absolutely nothing wrong with it, so they eventually agree to disagree on that one, as First Lady walks upstairs to check on the kids and get them in bed and ready for school tomorrow. As she comes back down the stairs to the bedroom, she notices Pastor Smith on the side of the bed texting. First Lady asks, "Who's that this late?" "Oh, it's Sister Whitfield, just telling me more about the situation with her and her husband." First Lady says okay and thinks nothing of it, because he's always talking to the members and helping them. And she already knows the Whitfields are having marital issues. The next day, they get a frantic call from Brother Whitfield, who asks if Pastor and First Lady could come over because his wife was threatening to leave him. They tell Sister Rondell they are going out and need her to watch the kids for them and hop in the car. As they arrive and get out, there is yelling and screaming as they approach the front door. They ring the bell, and Brother Whitfield answers the door with tears in his bloodshot red eyes, saying, "She's leaving." Sister Whitfield proceeds to tell them that she does not want to be with him anymore because he is not fulfilling her and he works all the time. Brother Whitfield tells Sister Whitfield that she wanted this beautiful home for just the two of them, and he works extra hours to make sure she's taken care of. However, Sister Whitfield hates that when she gets off work and comes home, he's not there until later because of his schedule. She tells them all that she is going to move back home to her mom's. Pastor and First Lady do not want to see her go. Sister Whitfield was a church secretary at the time and is a major asset to the ministry. They do not want to see them separate either. So they offer Sister Whitfield to stay with them for a couple of weeks instead of moving back home, while she and Brother Whitfield continue to work out their differences and move towards getting back together. Brother Whitfield is okay with that because he trusts the Smiths will do anything to save his marriage. The last thing he wants is for his wife to move back to her mom's house and have to live with the "I told you so's" of getting married. Brother Whitfield believes that Pastor and First Lady Smith can help save their marriage. The next day, Sister Whitfield moves in to one of the extra bedrooms, and she and Sister Rondell become close as they are both without their husbands now. One day, First Lady has an appointment at the doctor for her annual checkup and asks Sister Whitfield if she can take her since Pastor Smith will need the vehicle. They arrive at the doctor's office, and Sister Whitfield accompanies First Lady to the room and goes in with her. The doctor and nurse come in and check her vitals and routine checks. They ask Sister June to step out as they perform First Lady's pap smear. After they are done, she gets dressed, and Sister Whitfield comes back in to sit with her. The doctor comes back in and asks Sister Whitfield to step out while she goes over the results. First Lady says, "Oh, it's okay. She can stay in the room. She assists and helps me out, and it's pretty close. She's like a daughter to me." First Lady looks over at Sister Whitfield and gives her a smile and a wink. The doctor looks at First Lady and says, "Well, Mrs. Smith, these types of results are generally gone over with a patient for privacy." First Lady thinks, what in the world did they find? She tells the doctor, "Okay, that's fine." Sister Whitfield steps outside while First Lady's heart is pounding at the news she is about to receive. She knows she cannot be pregnant. First Lady knows that she has not been feeling all that well, but just thinks maybe she has a stomach bug, so she braces herself for the news. The doctor says, "Mrs. Smith, you have an STD. Do you know if your husband is cheating on you or having an affair?" First Lady says, "No, I don't believe he is, and I know I'm not having an affair. Although I do remember a couple of years ago, I had contracted an STD, and the doctor told us that he must have gotten it from a toilet seat. Neither of us were having an affair." The previous doctor mentioned to us that she had a janitor who continuously caught trichomonas, and it came from cleaning and touching dirty toilet seats. However, this doctor assured First Lady that this is only passed through sexual intercourse. First Lady immediately thanks God that Sister Whitfield is not in the room to hear the news. She can only imagine what Sister Whitfield could think of them. And then her and Sister Rondell being close, she might tell her. First Lady is so thankful and grateful for this, but mad at the devil with her husband right now. What has he been doing, and who has he been doing it with? The doctor tells her that she is going to prescribe some medication for her and her husband to take to clear up the infection. When they open the door, Sister Whitfield is standing right at the door, eavesdropping. They walk out and get into the car, and Sister June asks, "Is everything okay, First Lady?" First Lady says, "Yes, everything is fine. I just have a little infection, and they prescribed some antibodies to help clear it up. I haven't been feeling at my best the past couple of days and just had a stomach bug." Underneath her breath, First Lady says, "Lord, forgive me for lying to Sister June." They stop and fill the prescription and head back home. Sister Whitfield keeps talking, but First Lady is not in the talking mood at the moment and wants her to shut up. First Lady hopes that she did not hear through the door what the real issue is, because she is worried about their image with the church if she did. First Lady is also very furious with Pastor Smith for giving her an STD again. When they get home, Pastor Smith is in the bedroom and First Lady walks in and he says, "How was the appointment?" First Lady throws the medication pack at him and says, "Happy pill taking, Leroy. You've given me trick. Who are you messing around with?" He says, "I'm not messing around with anyone, babe. I probably got it from a toilet seat. You remember that doctor told us that years ago?" "Yeah, how convenient to use that. I told that doctor that, and she said this comes strictly from sexual intercourse." He says, "Well, I'm not doing nothing. Maybe you are." First Lady says, "I am not, and you know that. I'm always here at this house, and when I'm out, the kids are with me the majority of the time." Pastor Smith says, Now for the rest, you got to get the book." Okay. Now, Philip, tell us why this was your favorite part of the book.
Well, this part right there, that right there was the salt and pepper to the grits. You know, that was the hot sauce on the fish. That was the time to where I couldn't get away from the book. When I started reading that part, it was just like it locked me in, and I was so, and I had to keep going. I love that part. It was very real, and it was intense.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, absolutely. I definitely can say that it's certainly intense. And, we wrote the book, from a place of transparency, obviously, because we want to be able to bring some relatable situations, out there that, we do deal with, kind of behind the closed door. And sometimes we don't really know how to navigate through these things. And so that's the power in the wisdom nuggets, of course, at the end of each chapter, you see. And so with that being said, I truly believe that this book is going to help not only the First Lady, but pastors, men and women everywhere. I just really believe that. And, I just want to encourage anyone out there, to certainly pick it up. Don't be moved by the title. So you want to be a First Lady, because I'm trying to tell you, there are going to be some things in here as you continue to turn the pages. And just as Philip was sharing with you, he got locked in. And it became like, okay, I just can't stop reading these pages right here. And I think one of the reasons why is because it is relatable. Wouldn't you agree, Phil? It is relatable.
I very much do. I agree a lot with it. And it's just, it's a lot. It's a lot. And, for the ones who haven't read the book, the title itself, So You Want to Be the First Lady, it's a lot that the First Lady went through, and man, you gotta pick the book up and read it, because it's a lot to it, and it's a great book.
So would you say that during your read, you saw some valuable lessons in there, for men as well? And if so, can you share maybe something that would be a lesson maybe for men in general?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that question because throughout the book, you didn't bring up Miss Cat. Well, we didn't bring up Miss Kathy. And a part of that, Miss Kathy was one that would quote Bible scriptures that didn't go to church, but she knew the Bible. I'm, I'm gonna say I'm gonna say that I'm kind of like that to where to answer that is I was raised that the man pretty much is the head of house. Um,
Mm-hmm.
go through the head to get to the body. And I felt that reading the book, uh, Mrs. Smith, the first lady, she took on a position that I felt the man should have took on. And I feel that people can get from when you allow someone to step into a role that you need to be playing. This is why things couldn't go well with them within the church, within life itself. I feel like if you fall in the way of the role that God wants you to step into, then good things that happen to you and your family.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I totally agree, with that as well. Because sometimes, we do topple over in terms of what our roles are. And, it's very, very important, that, the man does step up and lead, his family. And I know sometimes we women can be a bit difficult to lead as well. So I will throw that in there, because there are some very headstrong women and so forth that do not really know how to or will be willing to submit to, a man's authority, and so forth. And but of course, with so you want to be a first lady, there are many things in here that hats, of course, that she wears as well. And so you guys definitely need to pick it up. And so again, you can get the book on www.tishbarnhardt.com. That's my personal website. If you'd like an autographed copy, I can certainly get that to you. And then also you can find the book on Walmart.com, Amazon.com, Barnes and Noble, any of the retail outlets where books are sold, you can get a copy of the book there. And so I know today I was browsing through Amazon and I actually saw that I had a review to come in today. So I want to be able to read that review real quick. Can we flash up that review? All right, so this review is from Shamisha, and it says, congratulations, reviewed in the United States, of course, on January 25th, which is today, by the way. It says, congratulations to you. This will be a bestseller. It is very well put together and a page turner. Once you start reading it, you don't want to put it down. Thank you for being bold enough to tackle some of the topics the church neglects to deal with, and you handled it in a tactful manner. It is my prayer that 1 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 9 is revealed in your life, that your eyes has not seen, nor ears heard, nor have entered into the heart of man the things which God has prepared for you. May God continue to bless you. Wow. Thank you so much, Shamisha. If you are watching out there, I appreciate your review that came in today. Thank you. Thank you so much. And everyone that is reading the book or has read the book, please, please, please make sure to leave a review for us on Amazon or anywhere else that we can see your comments. We definitely would love to do that. Pamela Isabel said the headstrong woman would be me. I get it. I'm telling you, yes, we can be some very domineering women. And certainly, I understand because a lot of times there are a lot of single women out there raising children by themselves, whereas the man may not have been in the picture. All right, Sophia said, when a man can't even listen to a woman's opinion, he strayed from God's commandments. Well, now, all right now, because, the Bible does say that we have to be careful with how we treat the woman because your prayers, men, will be hindered. So we definitely want to love our wives as Christ loves the church, so that our prayers and your prayers certainly will be heard. Awesome comment, Sophie. Thank you so much. All right, so let's see. Elizabeth said, I can't understand why that was Philip's favorite chapter. Very intense. She said, I can understand why that chapter was Philip's favorite. Very intense and moving. Yes, ma'am. That's only chapter 5. There's 24 chapters. So, yeah, I think they're going to have you kind of glued to the page there. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. Yes, that was a very loaded chapter. And listen, that was only 4 pages, I think, that I read. And so Philip was having a hard time trying to pick which page to start on for his read because it was that loaded. Okay, Kimberly said, "May God continue to bless you, Tish." Thank you. Any other comments there? All right, Ella Causey, you talk about putting nuggets after each chapter. Is it really after each chapter? Yes, ma'am. It's really after each chapter. I think I have a few minutes here. Let me go to chapter 5 and I'll read you one nugget here that's in chapter 5. And so now, of course, we did not get into a lot of the book. I'm not sorry, not a lot of the book, but a lot of chapter 5. So the nugget here, you'll have to kind of just grab, okay? It's going to make you want to pick the book up for sure. All right, so here it goes. First ladies and wives. As a woman, there are many things we face in life. You may feel once you're acting out of character and wanting to get even with the other woman. I know some of you would have dragged Sister Whitfield out of your house. Now, we didn't cover that part, so you got to go look in the book and see why. Okay, out of the house, fought her, cursed her out, etc. Understand, it wasn't just her involved. It was him too. However, please allow your integrity to speak for itself. You can be angry and have a right to your feelings, but in the end, you will win. Trust me, you will win, girlfriend. All right, the integrity of the upright will guide them, but the perversity of the treacherous will destroy them. And that's in Proverbs 11:3. Now, I want to give another nugget too for the men, pastors and men. As you are speaking with members and they are sharing their issues, do not bring their issues home to your spouses. Be careful about what you do, what you allow to penetrate your spirit, as you can open a door for unhealthy thoughts to enter your mind. If the thoughts are entertained, you can become overtaken with them to the point of desiring and asking your spouse to be like someone else, or to implement the fantasy you see or have seen from TV, porn, whatever. This can become a conflict in your home, especially if both parties do not agree with what is being asked of them to do. Woo, loaded. Therefore, treat the parts of your earthly body as dead to sexual immorality, impurity, passion, evil desire, and greed, which amounts to idolatry. Colossians chapter 3 and verse 5. All righty. Women of God, don't allow yourself to be punked and used by the enemy to disrupt the family's home. The mission accomplished attitude will get you nowhere in the end, but in a place of being hurt. Did you obtain the man? In most cases, you do not, as you are nothing more than a play toy. Most men have no intention of leaving their wives for you. Value yourself. And if your pastor asks you to do anything that is inappropriate, deny him access to you. Let him know that you find his behavior and requests inappropriate and that he needs to repent and get that right with God. Don't be afraid to tell him either. Instead of being used by him, be used by God to stop him in his tracks. Remember, you don't have to be the other woman in the dark. Be the woman that stands out in the light of God. All right, that's enough of the nuggets. So yes, nuggets are there. All right, do we have any other comments that I can answer or respond to? We've got about 5 minutes left here, I see. All right, yes, Joyce, day 4. And we're going to be back on here tomorrow, of course. All right, Henrietta. D. Clark said, hi, Tish, welcome back. Hi, Henrietta. Thank you so much for your warm welcome. All right. Shelly Collar said day 4. And I am still excited listening to your story, Tish. Listen, thank you so much, Shelly, for following me these 4 days here. Absolutely. I appreciate you. All right. Walter D.C. Dixon said, a true man never shies away from any book. Wow. Now that's good. So, Walter, we know you're going to be picking up the book. All righty. All right. Sophie Lemos said, hi, Tish. I never get tired of listening to your voiceover. Thank you so much. And you guys that are tuning in with us today, if you have not been following us these few past days here, I want you to stay on the lookout and in tune for, of course, the audible version to this, which will be coming out soon. We're working on that. All righty. Thomas Ross said, always so bubbly, Tish. You bring a bit of sunshine through the screen. All right. Hey, Let's bring the sunshine in the rain, right? Because it's kind of raining in Charlotte here, which is where I am today. All righty. What else do we have on the screen? Anything else? All right. Alvin Partridge said, what's the future for the First Lady? Well, I don't know what the future for the First Lady Carol Smith is going to be just yet, but we definitely know that there are some other things cooking and on the horizon for Tish Barnhardt. So we'll see what's going to happen with First Lady. There might be a volume 2 or something coming, or something along that magnitude. All right, Betty Miller said, "Hi Tish, welcome back. Hi Betty, good to see you again, my friend." All right, James Lynch Jackson said, "I think female leaders can also learn a lot from Tish's book." Absolutely, James. I think female leaders can learn a lot from this book. Oftentimes, we will experience some things and we suffer in silence a lot, and we don't really open up about the things that we are going through. But I believe that whenever you pick the book up, because it's, told in such a place of transparency, people will really be able to glean, from everything there for sure. I think we saw that comment from Ella about the nuggets after each chapter. Is it really every chapter? Yes, ma'am. Every chapter, there's some good golden nuggets there, because we got to put nuggets to what's being told in that story. All right. Any other comments? Bob said, "Thanks for the talk, Tish. I'm sure we'll all be waiting for what you're cooking up." Yep, absolutely. Definitely stay tuned, because there's definitely some great things on the horizon. Yes, indeed. Any other comments? All righty. Perfect. Well, listen, Phil, I want to thank you again for coming on and tuning in with us today and sharing from a male perspective. Is there any last comments that you would like to share with our audience today?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me. I enjoy, being part of this. I really feel like it's going to be big. I really feel like it needs to be on the screen in a movie.
Yes.
And I just can't wait. Like, I really think, I honestly think it's big, and I love being a part of this.
Thank you, Phil, so much. Yes, did y'all hear that? Phil said he thinks it needs to be on the big screen. And guess who else thinks so? So do I. All right. Well, listen, thank you again for tuning in with us today. Again, you can reach me, tishbarnhart.com, on my website. If you have any questions or anything like that, pick the book up. Barnes & Noble, Walmart.com, Amazon.com. And listen, we here at Reader's Magnet, this is what we say. We share your stories with the world. Thanks for tuning in.